So I just want to do a really quick demo of how to create a new level in the Witch and Wiz editor. I'll have everything documented in writing, but I thought it might be good if I could just take 2 or 3 minutes and just walk through what it takes to build a new level. I think it'll seem much simpler if you see it being done, and then you can use the documentation for reference if you need something really specific. So this is the package here, Witch and Wiz editor. So if you go into the game folder, you'll find this batch file called compile custom. So this is how you're going to build the game and pull all your levels in. So I'm just going to delete the previously built stuff. So when you run this, you'll see it'll kind of do a bunch of stuff, building the audio, pulling in the level data, and then compiling the actual ROM. And if you have your .nes files associated with an emulator, it'll automatically open right away. So when we go in here and start a new game, you'll notice the levels are different than like the real game. These are just sample levels, one of each type of puzzle. So it's first was the kind of basic puzzle, then here's the clone puzzle. After this is a key puzzle, and it'll just go one by one through 5 or 6 different levels. This is the labyrinth level where you can teleport to the other side, the wizard level, oops, turbo button. Wizard level where you control 2. This is one of the new types of levels where the map can flip over when I press A. And then flip it back, kill that guy, exit the room. And then the final one is the gravity flipping levels, where I can press A to turn gravity upside down. And then after I finish that, that's the last map, so it automatically completes and takes me back to the main menu. So if you didn't have your NES files associated with an emulator, if you go back to the folder where we just were, there's this build folder, and you'll find in here a main.nes, and that's basically the compiled ROM. So if you want to manually open it, you can do it there. Okay, so how do we make a new level? So first thing you're going to need to do is go into Tiled and open a file. And inside the editor here, there's Game Maps. At the bottom here, world_custom. So this is the world that stores all of the maps for the game. So these are those, 7 levels I just played through. And the order they appear here are the order they'll appear in game. So if I took this and moved it to the end, it would now be the last level. So if we want to create a new level for the game, we basically use one of these as a starting point. So there's one of each type of map, and you want to make sure you start with an existing one because there's some setup involved that I've already done there. So let's say we want to make, I don't know, say a key level. So this is called template map zone keyroom.json. So if we go back to that folder, the maps folder, you'll see that right here. So we'll just duplicate that. And you can call it whatever you want. We'll just call it tutorial map. And I think we can maybe just drag this right into tiled. And then from here we can add it to our world. You'll see some other ones here because I'm doing some other stuff. Actually, let's go to the actual world and do it just so we don't add it to the wrong one. So we're going to add it to world_custom. And then we're going to find our tutorial. So that gets added here. And like I said, we'll put this at the front so that it's the first map that shows up. And then we'll just make kind of an arbitrary change here so that we can see it showing up in game. So a couple things to note. Really important, first of all, is there's multiple tile sets. There's sewer, castle, clock, all sorts of stuff. One for each type of, not one for each type of puzzle, but each type of puzzle has an associated tile set, and you cannot switch that or use multiple tile sets. You want to make sure you're sticking with the same tile set. So this level uses the sewer tile set, and you can figure that out quite easily by just switching to the brush and right-clicking a tile, so it'll select it in the tile set on the right here. So it's taking me to name table sewer. So I want to make sure I'm not placing castle tiles in the sewer and vice versa. The second thing to note is that there's a couple layers here. The background layer is where we place all of our static objects, so walls, background objects, ladders, stuff that doesn't move or change. The dynamics layer is where we place all the objects that can move or change. So the player, the key in this case, a door. If you had enemies, they would be in there. So for our change, why don't we add some enemies? So we'll add this guy here, and then a bat here. And that'll be all we change for this one. And maybe just so we can see the background layer change as well, we'll put some of these sewer grates just around here. Okay, so then we're going to Control-Shift-S, save all. You need to make sure you save all because you need to save the world as well as the map itself. And then all you need to do is run that batch script again, and it'll pull that new map in, compile the ROM, and open it. So you can see it right here. That tutorial map got pulled in, and that's because it's part of the world. And then if we just do new game, it should be the first level that shows up. And here it is. So there's our guys. Key, get that guy. And then it'll go back to that other first one that we originally had. And that's basically all there is to it. There's a couple things that can go wrong along the ways, which I'll try to document in the document, but the most common ones are going to be you have the wrong tile set, or you're mixing tile sets. You forgot to place a player start position, or at least one enemy or one exit. Yeah, those are the most common ones. Or maybe you forgot to add the map to the world as well, and then it just won't show up at all. Okay, cool. That's about it. Thanks.